My name is Wuraola Yusuff, and this is me saying a Happy New Week to you. Yes, this is the Dailies, your ultimate newspaper review show. This is where we get to discuss on what is happening in the country, the decisions our leaders are making, how did they or how are they going to affect us as citizens of this great country. Also, we citizens, what are we doing? What are what are our roles and the decisions that our leaders are making? Because all in all, these things they all come together at some point. Because some things are as a result of some action. So yeah, we are here to dissect and also explain that with the help of Maestro, the great Maestro. Let me say in the studio, as always, as we do. You know how we do it. I'll take you through the front pages of our daily newspapers first, after which we will now pick the stories which we'll be discussing today. Picking it up from the Punch newspaper, still on the issue of the Hachi protest, on page 2, US, UK, Canada issue security alert, traders fear looting. The writer to that story says foreign missions foresee violence as federal government obi differ on protest sponsors. Right, we have this one talking about the SIM NIN linkage. Telecommunications became final mass disconnection. And if you're listening right now and your line has been bad, I think you know what's going on now. Only NMPCL can buy Dangote petrol. That is coming from Ipman, page 31. Only NMPCL can buy Dangote petrol. Fuel rises to 1,300 naira per litre as depot are run dry. Page 7. Federal government scholarship beneficiaries right minister fall to 56% funding cut. Page 8. Right, moving on to the front page of the Guardian newspaper. The risk, danger of planned national protest. That is on page 2 of the Guardian newspaper. Peaceful Gabandero polls are not certain in Edo, Ondo, reports warns. On the issue of the protest, Obi names as sponsors as CPPE warns of 400 billion naira daily loss to economy. Page 6. Serap sues CBN over missing 100 billion naira dirty notes. We have Serap coming in the news again, page 5 of the Guardian newspaper has details of the story. On page 3, support Dangote refinery to reduce petrol scarcity. Ex-NDIC MD tells regulators. Now let's move on to the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper. Anti-protest campaigns heighten. Obi backs a demonstration. Boko Haram attacks military, police, and Borno kills officer. IDP. That is quite a sad one right there. On the issue of the local government autonomy, fate of over 200 LCDAs hangs in balance. Page 6 of the Daily Trust newspaper. Private jets rise from 44 to 157 in 20 years. Page 5 has the details of that story. Zamfara lawmaker, ex-local government chair, district head nabbed over kidnapping. 3 writers to that story. The first one says he's a colleague, a majority leader confirms. 3 community leaders face a panel of inquiry. Another one says a banditry coming to an end, and that is coming from the government themselves. The details to that story is on the front page, is on page 4 of the Daily Trust newspaper. Yes, we shall be starting with the analysis and also the explanation of these stories. What did they actually mean to us? With, of course, Maestro. Good morning, Maestro. You're welcome.
Good morning. It's my pleasure to be here.
How was the weekend?
We thank God for His mercies.
As always.
As always, we will um, try as much as possible to tell our listeners the truth
Mm.
as much as we could, as much as our God-given capacity and abilities would yield.
Right. Okay, now let us go to a couple of stories we have here. Of course, we shall be talking about the protest But before then, let us talk about the issue of petrol. Because right now we have queues upon queues during the weekend, and up to now there are queues, especially in Lagos and Abuja. On the front page of the Punch newspaper this morning, we can see long queues right there with people complaining that there is no fuel. And this one coming from the front page of the Punch newspaper says a fuel rises to 1,300 naira per liter as people run dry. All right, we have oil marketers saying that they were also queuing to load petrol that most people lacked stock to sell. What does this mean? We do not have fuel right now in the country again.
Well, I try as much as possible to take the fuel situation at any point in time
Mm,
after having learned a lot about the petroleum sector in our country, its nuances, its shenanigans. So, what I resolved to do over the times in my reportorial years and as responsible professionals is to feel it before we pass it on.
mm,
And so, I know that in Ibadan, uh, it's far from the figure that they have written in their report there.
mm.
It's possible in Abuja.
In Abuja and Lagos,
It's
particularly.
possible in Abuja, but that's not the reality in Ibadan.
Mm,
That's number one. The long queues, also written in that report, is not the reality in Ibadan. It's expensive. It's way beyond the line. They're selling 800, 850, and some of the fueling stations are selling 700 and so on, which is still outrageous anyway. But I'm talking about, feeling it so that we can register the reality and not pass on the panic. Because Ibadan does not hear things like that. Immediately you start seeing panic buying all over the place, which will heighten, the situation. But the point is, we have problems, uh, certainly with the petroleum sector, and the problem sits squarely, I dare say, on the table of Mr. President because he's the petroleum minister. And so anything that is happening there, we're looking at him not only because he's president and has the powers to influence things in those quarters, but also because he reserves the portfolio of Minister of Petroleum for
so you should
himself.
be asked
So
for
he is
anything
the,
concerning
there's no other way to look. First and foremost, we look directly at that table to sort things out.
All right. A depot operator who didn't want his name to be printed said there was no fuel in almost all the depot on Sunday. That was yesterday after the little available was supplied on a Saturday. But then they said the NMPC came out to say it is just a hitch and they are going to fix it. They are going to arrest the situation very soon. So they are hoping to believe them because right now when they get to the depot, they were also queuing. There was almost nothing. So it's another time to maybe trust or not
There are two things
NMPSL.
I'll quickly say about that. The first one
Mm.
is to be wary of reports
Yes.
that is doing
Mm.
anonymous stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always careful if
Mm.
it's not directly, by me or some other trustworthy source. I just throw it away
Mm.
immediately. Why would you not want to say, okay, this is who I am?
He's a depot operator. I
Who
mean,
it's nobody.
mm.
You don't know it. There are thousands of depot operators all over the place. So, but it's one of the ways that lazy journalists, quickly pass on whatever message they want to pass on. These are things that we've seen in our time as journalists. So that's one. The other one is that, the NNPC, I believe, is simply saying they will fix it, they will fix it as an excuse. Because the last time it was about flood, it was about the
Yes.
weather,
Mm.
oh, it was about the climate. And as soon as that's over, but we haven't recovered from that weather thing that they talked about. Now they are saying they will fix this one, is the heat, is a glitch. I don't understand what they are saying. But like I said, rather than, come down the ladder, we should stay, in front of that table that is responsible for this thing. Yes, the president has delegated, but things are not working. You see, the problem of petroleum is not something that you could say, oh, I didn't know that was happening there. As soon as it begins to happen, everybody knows it, including the president. So I think it should, do something extraordinary, at this point about the oil sector. Things are really getting really bad there. And I believe that, as president and petroleum minister, it should make a difference at this point.
Okay. All right, then. Let's delve into the issue of the protest. As we've been talking about it since last week, I guess we are going to keep talking about it till Thursday when we see what's going to happen. One thing we've been trying to figure out is who are the organizers of this protest. It seems faceless. So yesterday we had a television interview and we had a particular movement, so let me say an NGO called a Take It Back Movement, coming out to say they are part of the organizers, not the organizers. Because by the when asked question, the director of the mobilization, whose name was Damilari Adenola, he said Take It Back movement is one of the organizers. There are many others, but also the federal government coming out trying to find the organizers is immaterial to the condition on the ground. What do you say to this?
These are things that we've talked about before, so we could keep, working on it and talking about it
He
all over
said
again.
trying to find the organizers is immaterial.
It's not immaterial. You have to know who's requesting something.
Mm.
It's only when we sit across that we can talk, that I can tell you, okay, these are the things that I've been doing, and so on and so forth. Why would you say, it's immaterial? In any case, for integrity, for courage and everything, you need to step out. And that's what I said. We, in this part of this country, we are the ones who protest. And we have a culture of protest. We have a history of protest of all kinds. You understand? In this part of this country, we are the ones who protest. And we don't go protesting in anonymity. That's not what we do. We come out and say, okay, this is me. I'm the leader of this thing. We are the leaders of this thing. So if you want to tear gas people, you know who to tear gas. I told you, as old as the likes of the late Paenahoro was in that year, and Professor Wole Soyinka also advanced in years in that year, and a lot of other people were tear gassed in Lagos, around the secretariat there, because they led protests. We don't go and hide. This is not our kind of protest. We don't hide.
They already came out to say these are the people.
Then you
like
say,
they are
okay,
NGO and many
so
others.
you say you are an NGO,
Mm-hmm.
and then you are one of the protesters. What are you
One of the
organizing?
organizers.
There is nothing. They are just they are just talking.
According to him, he said,
If you now say you are one of the organizers,
Mhm.
fine. So then give your information and go on with your protest.
mm,
It's as simple as that. But
all
you
right
see,
then.
the problem is people who don't have courage. People who are not ready to leave everything in the field. They are the ones, doing stuff on social media. Many of them have never protested dangerously in their lives, unlike us. We faced almost everything there is to face in the military years, in the whatever years. So when we begin to talk, they think we are just like them, that we can only do this thing behind closed doors and on keyboard on social media. No. This is this history of our protest system in this place. It's not to go and hide somewhere and be making calls and be doing social media. No, getting furious on the social media. You come out and say, this is me. If you want to take me, take me. If you don't want to take me, leave me alone. Let me go and do my protest. That's how we did it.
Okay. Is that not what they are trying to do? Trying to come out now? Because he said that these all started on X, Twitter, and they said they held a space even a few days ago where they had over 10,000 youth saying, okay, this is what we are going to do.
10,000 youths saying where and when and what. You see, the point is, we shouldn't belabor this. The people, the police have said, come and give your, details and so on, which I don't even agree with.
Why not?
I don't agree with that. What is the police doing with protesters? Wouldn't normally even bother to give anybody anything.
But that's what they said. The IGP said they're supposed to come and give them details.
There is a difference. I don't agree with that. Simple. You understand? But the problem I have with people who say they are protesting is different from the request of the police. I am saying you want to lead me. I should know you. I should know you. I should know your antecedents. I have to know your record. Supposing you are just one armed robber in one corner.
Is that they've organized protests before?
Where? When?
According to him, Mr. Damilare Adenola,
so you and I cannot be saying they said they have. We have to know. We are the journalists now. We have to know, oh, this man, he organized the last one. He did this one. But when you are telling us things by mouth, I don't know. But I need to know. If somebody like Mr. Falana says, okay, we are doing this now, I know who is leading something. I even went as far as, if Mr. Showore says, okay, I am in front of this, I'm one of
his name was somehow linked to Take It Back movement.
I'm just telling you the kind of thing that I would accept. I'm not saying necessarily it has to be him. Because in any case, he contested. You cannot have it and not have it at the same time. You contested, you lost. After you lost, you now want revolution. It doesn't work like that. But that is his own life. That is his calling. So it's understandable, and because he hasn't been in government before, I can't accuse him of having stolen anything. So it might be easy for me to say, okay, I'm lining up behind this person. But if you see, you work for it. You don't just become a leader anywhere. You work for it. You have to have a reputation of, this is what I have done in my time, to make some people follow you. Because it is, when I follow you, people who follow me will follow you. And people who follow them will follow you. And so on. Before you know it, we have something going. We always know who's leading protests in this place. We don't do anonymous stuff. And that is why I believe it's just going to put, at the end of the day.
All right, then. Before we go to the aspect of the IGP saying that he would not tolerate breakdown of law and order, and also they are supposed to come to them with details. Let's go pay some business. We're back. We'll continue with that.
Akitibo 88.7 FM.
My baby is 6 months old. Oh my! 6 months old? Wow! Now your baby needs more than breast milk. It's time to introduce mashed meals. In addition to breast milk, begin to give your baby mashed meals that contain at least one item from each of these 5 food groups: eggs, fish or meat, fruits and vegetables, oils, beans, groundnuts, soya or millet, rice, potato, maize or yam from 6 months. In addition to breast milk, your baby needs this combination of food types to grow healthy. This message is from the Anrin Project or your State Ministry of Health.
bọ́dún ṣe ń gorí ọdún là ń dúpẹ́ lè ṣe alálàájì Algaza Travels and Tours alhamdulilayi kẹsíra ọpẹ́ olórí àdáàdá tán o fọba tó tún fi ṣe àjọ̀dún ìpọ́n wálé iṣẹ́ hajj ti wá yàtọ̀ sí ti tẹ́lẹ̀ ó kó sùn méjì tá a lọ ṣiṣẹ́ hajj níjọba alẹ́ Saudi ti fẹ́ kéèyàn ò ní fi sẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ kó ti mọ ibi tí ó gbé kí gbogbo ètò sì ti tò fún gbogbo àwa tá ń jẹ ẹran kan láti ṣe hajj táwọn wò lọ́ọ̀kan ìtọ́dún 2025 ẹ̀yin náà tètè tara ṣàṣà kẹ́ ẹ mọ̀ bọ̀ sílé iṣẹ́ alálàájì Algaza Travels and Tours èèyàn dọ́ta àkọ́kọ́ 50 tó bá wá sílé iṣẹ́ alálàájì Algaza Travels and Tours láti forúkọ sílẹ̀ fúnṣẹ́ àjọ̀dún 2025 owó wọn á dín sí àwọn yòókù ṣètọ́jú àwọn èèyàn wa ní ká sọ ni àbílẹ̀ tí ń gbé ní Medina àti Mẹ́kà tí ò jìnnà rárá síbi tán ti ṣiṣẹ́ owó wa ló kéré jù a wà nílé gbàgàdàgbàgàdà tó wà lórí títì tá a pè ní Algaza building lákọ̀ọ́kà bus stop nítòsí ọlọ́ọ̀gùn bus stop Old Ife Road nílẹ̀ Ìbàdàn 07032128882 07032128882.
àbẹ́ ò rí nǹkan ẹ̀bùn pàtàkì látọ̀dọ̀ Ọlọ́run lọ́mọ jẹ́ fáwọn òbí tómi ọyàn sì jẹ́ ẹ̀bùn Ọlọ́run fáwọn ọmọ ó ní gbogbo èròjà aṣaralóore pẹ̀lú omi tọ́mọ rẹ nílò fún oṣù 6 àkọ́kọ́ máa fọ́mọ rẹ ní ọyàn nìkan rántí o omi ọyàn nìkan fún oṣù 6 àkọ́kọ́. ìkéde yìí wá láti àkọ́ṣeṣẹ́ Anrin iléeṣẹ́ tó ń mójútó ètò ìlera ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́.
Fellow Nigerians, mummies, daddies, and children, please listen. It's no longer news that there's cholera outbreak, but don't worry. Cholera is highly preventable with good hygiene practice in the home. Ensure you disinfect your floors, clothes, and surfaces with Hypo bleach. And always remember to care for your toilets with Hypo toilet cleaner. This way, you'll protect your family and stop the spread of cholera.
If you not find reliable property, make you not all up in again. Now Magnum Skyrock Property Developer, we they go. Then be your dog for property business. So then be Bam Bam Magnum Skyrock. Now then be your guy. Now so, if you know the plan, say you want buy property, now only Magnum Skyrock Property Developer be your answer. Because now them be the most trusted and reliable real estate developer we are know. Then they get both commercial and residential apartments for sale. No be joke. Now them be the real 001 and them be obonge for property business. Currently, Magnum Skyrock Property Developer then get units of shops where they won't sell. Where they allow opposite Obande Grammar School, Old Ife Road, where they very close to Gagi Market, Ibadan. Now just 85 million naira. Very affordable and a day negotiable. If you check us today for our office where they Office 8, Joyce B Complex, off Mobile Ring Road, Ibadan, or your state. Or contact us on 0706 273 5759 or 0810 818 8449. Magnum Skyrock Property Developer. After you, now you.
I'm in love. Sonia Tomato Mix, stand up. Is it to open? Is it to squeeze? Is it to scoop? And is it to stop? Dishes come alive. There's so much taste. Sonia Tomato Mix, of course. Sonia Tomato Mix, yes sir. Sonia Tomato Mix, stand up pouch.
Sonia Tomato Mix in a new stand-up pouch.
So much in love.
Akitibo 88.7 FM.
All right, you're welcome back. In case you're just joining us, you can also join on our Facebook Akitibo 887, where you get to watch us live as it is happening. Okay, before we went on that break, we were talking about the fact that we already have, I think there may have been a face to whoever it is that is organizing the protest. Now, as we saw a movement saying they take it back movement and they are part of the organizers, saying there are youth. And when asked that what was their motive, who are the people that are fueling this, they said hunger. And that is what is fueling, that is what is motivating them.
All right,
to do
so
this.
let's break it down.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good thing they stepped up to say, okay, at least we're one of the people. But if you're, doing something that is nationwide, then it couldn't be just 2-3 of you. You have to have representation in all the states of the federation, like 36 states of the federation, and so on and so forth. So this is, I guess, how you coordinate it, and then it means you will have about at least 36 faces, maybe 37, including the FCT, and that's when you're taken seriously, sincerely. But if you pop up in maybe Abuja alone or in Lagos alone and you say, I'm the one, I don't think it's enough, sincerely. But we'll see how this goes. At least they have stepped out to say, this is our face, this is our profile. So we can work with that. We can go from there.
And also, you mentioned something that is Mr. Damdara, saying that there shouldn't be something like trying to say there are organizers and participants. Everyone is coming out to protest.
Everyone is not coming out to protest.
Okay.
That's a fallacy. I'm not coming out to protest. I'm not interested in it. A lot of other people are not interested in it. People have been, we are not even reporting that extensively. I think Lagos has been reported extensively in terms of resisting, the protest in every way, almost from place to place. People have been coming out to say we don't want
Do you think that means people won't come out August 1st?
I don't know.
In Lagos?
Well, I don't know. But what I've seen is that they are making a case against it. That look, Lagos pays above the minimum wage that you are just resolving. Infrastructure in Lagos is good, and so on and so forth. That there's no reason for anybody to come and state, that people should look at even their different places. Lagos is where we all go. We come from our different states, different parts to Lagos. And it doesn't appear to be Lagosians who are interested, in protesting. And so people like you and I who have gone to Lagos are the ones who want to protest. And they are saying, why don't you go back to your state and take another another look. If it's as good as Lagos, then you can think like that. But if it's not as good as Lagos, then you are protesting in the wrong place.
Do you think that is Lagos government going against the protest?
Yes, Lagos state government is going against it. Lagos state traditional rulers are going against it. Lagos state, indigenes are going against it. From the report I saw, a lot of them are going against it. That look, this is not the kind of place that you should start it from.
So we should look forward to what will happen if people actually comes out on August 1st in Lagos
I
to
think
protest.
people will come out. I'm not saying people will not come out.
The government is already going against it.
It depends on how many. It might be just a few people with their placards on the day, which is fine because we have to put things in perspective. The constitution of the law of this country does not forbid protests.
Okay.
That is very clear, and we have been saying that forever for anybody who cares to listen. But the point is, there's a difference between a protest and then vandalizing stuff. So that's where I think the police will come in, draw the line, and security agencies would, frown. So, like I said, I don't know why you will be asking people to come and register with you for protest.
So that's talking about the Inspector General of Police.
There is something that has even been thrown away by the law court, which is to go and take permission to protest. It's been flipped by the court, to the best of my knowledge, that people have the right to protest and so on. The only thing you don't have the right to do is to go and be burning things and be destroying things.
All right.
So that's why I don't like the idea that
the permission,
people should come up and right. Besides, it sounds intimidating. Like okay, we know where you are and so on and so forth.
The second measure.
It's 7 a.m. on Agidigbo 88.7 FM.
All right.
So all these things have different positions. And in talking, about the protest entirely, we should put all these things in perspective. The security agencies, if you want to get people's profile, you do that in your day in the office. Anybody does not know, you gather your information and so on. That's how it was done. So you knew Dr. Shashe is a person in that place and so on. You gather your stuff. But to come out and say you have to come and tell us.
They said under the law.
I don't believe so. I don't think so.
During your time, the protest then, there was nothing like going to
inform. Who was going to? People were packing bags ready to be arrested by police and DSS and everything now. It's not like today that enjoyment has taken everything away. We are now disturbing anybody who says they don't like this thing with words of mouth.
So to be clear, there is nothing like coming to register or coming to inform you about
people
where and
not
when.
Registering to go and protest. It's protest now. Yeah, you're not comfortable with the situation, and government will never want you to come out and protest. Any kind of protest, they are going to work against it. That's normal. That's standard. Then at a point, I think we had this kind of thing going on that, okay, inform the police that you were going to protest just in case some
for the
other
sake
people
of security
will come and hijack it, and then you will be treated as the same.
Okay.
So I think the logic of that is what established the practice of informing the police that, okay, we're coming out. So, and then maybe the area command and so on, or the commissioner will be aware that, okay, this is coming up. They would do whatever they would do about it, including making sure that you don't even come out. So, but also including drafting policemen to ensure safety.
All right. Talking about that, the director of the mobilization of Take It Back movement, still talking about Damilare Adenola, he said they wrote to the minister of the FCT, Barrister Nyesom Wike, saying that they intend on using the Eagle Square for their protest. And we saw a video of a minister of FCT saying he only saw that on social media, so he would take it as a nothing. Nothing was written to him, but according to Mr. Damilare, he said they wrote to him, maybe by bureaucracy, something have happened, and then the letter didn't reach him. Or the minister, he said, in quote, or the minister is just trying to
No, I don't suppose it's what we should be going back and forth over. The point is, if the man says I've not seen it, then you are saying we wrote it. It's probably in transit, genuinely or mischievously.
Yeah, he said that.
So what I would have done is to just roll another one immediately and send to him.
He said they're going to go drop another one today.
That is one. The other thing is, he even talked about it, that, okay, if you bring the letter, you fulfill all righteousness, all the conditions, how much you are going to pay for, Eagle Square, because it comes with a cost.
Okay, I'll talk about that. A rent and security fee for protest.
Yes, if you want to protest at Eagle Square, it comes with a cost.
At Eagle Square or anywhere?
Because, now, if you are doing it at large, why would you pay anybody?
Okay.
But if you are doing it, inside that place, people rent the place, they pay. So, how much they are paying, I don't know. If these people have that kind of money, I don't know.
People who are trying to protest because of hunger,
I don't know. Well, people who are trying to protest because of hunger, they are selling 6,000 naira t-shirts. So, and I know that if somebody, who's hungry has 500 naira, he won't even buy data to call in or to do Facebook. He will go and eat first. Then he will carry on with the next need. But you see, the point is this. I believe that government, FCT ministry, should look at that differently. I think if they are reflecting, they should look at that differently. If they are able to establish that this is a large enough crowd,
okay,
I think they should waive, the cost.
The cost for them,
yes,
the security and rent fee.
Yes, I think so. But to secure, an undertaking that you won't destroy anything there, because if you destroy anything there, then it means government will now have to go and fix it. So, I think they should be allowed to.
But he said last week that FCT, they would not protest. They would not allow any form of protest.
I don't think so. I don't think you could really, really hold on to the idea of not having any kind of protest. It doesn't even sound right. It does not sound human that people are going through, this kind of hardship, and you're saying they shouldn't protest. It doesn't make sense to me. My grouse, with all these things, is that, it breaks out in three places, and we're doing the wrong kind of protest. Number one, there are people who are very hungry.
Yeah.
People who couldn't even get through the day, with any kind of comfort. We are not hearing from them. Even journalists are not reporting them. The people we are reporting are people who are genuinely undertaking, their representation, and people who are faking representation. So that's mixed up. We are taking the whole as one. The other part of this is that there is a very thick political undertone, which has been building up immediately after the elections. And so that is going on, without doubt. And we are not even, we are flimsily addressing that. The last part, and this is my own key grouse, is that anybody who wants to protest anything in this country today should be protesting in favor of restructuring Nigeria. That is one big thing. And you know what they did? You look at the list.
Yes, I have it here. I'm trying to read it out.
It's the last. Okay, let me just leave you to do that.
All right. So the first one says, scrap the 1999 Constitution and replace it with a people-made Constitution for the Federal Republic of Nigeria through a sovereign national conference, immediately followed by a national referendum. The second one says, toss the Senate arm of the Nigerian legislative system, keep the House of Representatives, and make lawmaking a part-time endeavor. 3, pay Nigerian workers a minimum wage of nothing less than 250,000 naira monthly. 4 says, invest heavily in education and give Nigerian students grants, not loans. Aggressively pursue free and compulsory education for children across Nigeria. 5 says, release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu unconditionally. and demilitarize the southeast. All hashtag NSAS and political detainees must also be released and could be compensated. Renationalize publicly owned enterprises sold to government officials and cronies. That is 6. 7 says reinstate a corruption-free subsidy regime to reduce hunger, starvation, and multidimensional poverty. 8 says probe past and present Nigerian leaders who have looted the treasury, recover their loot, and deposit it in a special account to fund education, healthcare, and infrastructure. 9 says restructuring of Nigeria to accommodate Nigeria's diversity, resource control, decentralization, and regional development. That is on 9. On 10, we have end banditry, terrorism, and violent crimes. 11 says establish a special energy fund immediately to drive massive corruption-free power sector development. 12. Immediate reconstitution of the Nigeria electoral body to remove corrupt individuals and partisan hacks appointed to manipulate elections. 13. We have a massive investment in public works and industrialization will employ Nigeria's teeming youth. 14. Massive shake-up in the Nigeria judiciary to remove cabals of corrupt generations of judges and judicial officers that continue denying everyday citizens access to real justice. And finally, 15, diaspora voting. In a short while, I'll put that on our Facebook page for people to see and read. But Maestro, we have a restructuring on 9.
It's nonsense. The entire thing is rubbish. And I think they just put restructuring as, let's just put it there. Because you know what? Everything they are asking for is inside restructuring. It's inside that changing the 1999 constitution.
Every other thing on the list?
Everything. So you know that unless, of course, the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, which I don't understand where that is coming from. And so you just know that this is just from a mind that does not even understand the dynamics of this polity. How many of those things? You see, the moment anybody makes a move to begin to attack all the things that they are talking about there, Nigeria dissolves into ethno-religious setting immediately. So if you don't understand that, then you don't know anything about this country, or you are driven simply by passion, and your passion cannot take you home. You have to understand what you're dealing with. The moment, as a matter of fact, look at the undertones of the current situation. I was saying it yesterday. I've not seen one federal government, one administration that would take on oil and gas, head on, take on forex cabal, take on governors, as powerful as governors are. They've never wanted local government, even any kind of autonomy for a long time. It's happened fairly, we could say so. Almost all fronts. And I'm wondering, I'm trying military or civilian administration that has, taken, that's the truth. Whether you want to hear it or not, it doesn't really matter. The truth is that somebody is standing against this whole thing at once. So I'm wondering, and already you are seeing ethno-religious undertones. All manner of, build up. And so that is why you need to be tactical to get whatever you want to get with Nigeria. If you are not brainy, you are coming with all manner of brawn, you will fail. As others have failed in the past. The man with the most honest and righteous intentions, who had the full capacity, to turn Nigeria around and everything, he was never able to get there. Why? Because he was ramrod straight.
Talking about who?
Chief Obafemi Awolowo. He was ramrod straight. Integrity, everything you could look for. I have not seen anybody living on or dead in the history of Nigeria that came to the table with the kind of pack Chief Obafemi Awolowo came with. But that ethno-religious system melted everything away. They ensured he never got there. There was one very prominent cleric who said, look, go and tell him if he would convert tomorrow, we will back him up and he will become president. But if he will not convert, we won't. And that cleric knew he would never convert because that's the essence of the man, integrity. You know, he doesn't fall all over the place. So you need to understand your country before you begin to state whimsically, you know, that immediately let this in. Then I wonder what you want. Do you want a democracy or something like military fiat to get all these things done? That is another thing that we need to discuss. But my pain is that we are not packing all this energy that we are using to ask for the release of some people who are in judicial process. We are not packing all that energy and putting it behind restructuring. Imagine if it's only restructuring resounding all around the country right now as we speak. Just imagine that. There will be doors opening. There will be forces caving in as all these things are happening. We would have been able to get something. But we're heading in the wrong direction with very feeble attempts and very feeble protests. I don't think it's going anywhere.
All right, Maestro, talking about the trying to let you know where and how, talking about giving security agencies where they are going to hold the protest. Do you think doing this by publication is enough? I mean, on social media, or just writing officially? Because according to Damilare, he said the one Mr. Wike said he didn't see. He said they can justify that by saying he saw it by publication. If you say you saw it on social media, then you've seen it.
Oh, that's being childish. Really, it's just being.
So
childish.
there's nothing by saying it by publication.
If you want to get a contract from a ministry, do you send your bid on the social media? So I mean, you are being clever by half saying since he saw it, he saw it. That's not what he saw. It's not official. It's not in the files. It's nowhere. It's just like what you and I see on the social media every day. Is it everything that we officialize in our lives? I don't think so. And people who are in positions of leadership should be responsible. This thing is easy. Instead of dragging it, the man says, I've not seen it. Okay, go there, give them another one and say, okay, go maybe with some cameras so the rest of us could now say, if you say you don't see it now, it's your business because we have seen him bring it to your office. You don't even have to go in. You can give them at the gate of the ministry and come back. And let's now hear that they don't have it. In any case, that's not the important part to me. That table tennis they are playing, that ping pong, is not the important thing. The key is you between them. As I see it is that ego square, should be given them. We can afford it in this country one day.
Not hell bent on that they have to pay rent and security.
No, I don't think they should go in that direction. They should be allowed to go inside Eagle Square and make their protests. And let's even hear, what people, are trying to say. Let them run it because the list you read, I don't believe is the list written by this. What do you call his name?
Take It Back movement.
I don't think that's their list.
They said they gathered it. We have like different ones. There are different ones, but they
there
said
are 1,000 lists.
They already gathered and then they brought their thoughts together.
If you write your own list on your handle, it's part of it. Anybody can write a list.
Yeah, you said different people have been writing, but they came out to just summarize. All right, so let's go pay some bills now. While we're back, we'll talk about what the Minister of Interior, Mr. Olubunmi Tunji, said on behalf of the federal government concerning this whole protest thing. We'll be back.
Akidibo 88.7 FM.
Gẹ́gẹ́ bí aláboyún, ó ṣe pàtàkì kí n tọ́jú ara mi kí n sì wà ní ìlera pípé.
Kí ìwọ àtoyún inú ẹ lè wà ní ìlera tó péye. Máa lo oògùn ẹ̀jẹ̀ tó ní áyọ̀nù nínú àti folic acid lójoojúmọ́ lákòókò tó bá lóyún. Eléyìí ń dènà àìtó ẹ̀jẹ̀ nínú oyún, yóò sì jẹ́ kóyún wà lálàáfíà. Fún ìlera pípé, ẹ máa yọjú sí àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ elétò ìlera yín fún ìtọ́jú oyún nígbà tó yẹ.
Ìkéde yìí wá láti àkànṣe iṣẹ́ ARIN, iléeṣẹ́ tó ń mójútó ètò ìlera ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́.
My country people, mama, papa and pikin, make una listen o. Cholera full town o, but make you no fear. Cholera na disease wey you fit prevent with better hygiene practice for your home. Just dey disinfect your floors, clothes and every corner for your yard with hypo bleach. And no forget to dey clean your toilets with hypo toilet cleaner. This way, you go protect your family and stop the spread of cholera.
I am pregnant. It is important for me to take care of myself and stay healthy.
To be strong and have a healthy pregnancy, take iron and folic acid tablets every day when you're pregnant. This prevents anemia and helps maintain a healthy pregnancy. Visit your healthcare provider for regular antenatal care. This message is from the ANRIN Project or your State Ministry of Health.
My son, help me check this phone. I no know wetin Junior press. E no dey work again.
Make I see. Mommy.
Wetin happen?
They don't block your line now.
Nobody like to chop blocking o. So, if they don't block you unto say you not link your NIN to your Airtel line, run kitty go any Airtel shop with your NIN to unblock your line today.
Airtel, a reason to imagine.
Health, they say, is wealth. But when securing good health costs you an arm and a leg, or when you are at the hospital and they insist on a hefty deposit before treatment,
but when Avon HMO has your back, you won't have to scream "Yekba," because in the end, we all need people. Visit avonhealthcare.com now to get an Avon health plan for you and your people.
Avon HMO, empowering you to live a healthier, fuller life.
I'm in love, Sonia tomato mix, stand up. Is it to open, is it to squeeze, is it to scoop and is it to stir? Dishes come alive, there's so much taste. Sonia tomato mix, of course. Sonia tomato mix, yes sir. Sonia tomato mix, stand up pouch.
Sonia tomato mix in a new stand-up pouch.
So much enough.
Akitibo 88.7 FM.
All right, you're welcome back. The demands, the list of demands is on our Facebook page right now. So if you want to read through, that'll be up for about 2 minutes right now. Maestro, let us talk about the aspect of the federal government, talking about these protests. We had the Minister of Interior, Mr. Olubumitunji, talking yesterday, saying that President Tinubu is not a magician. He is not a magician, and he didn't say he was a magician when he came into office. And also, we should see this like a surgical process. I mean, after surgery, there is something called recovery process. He says Nigeria is going through that right now, and we need to be patient. And also, he said the protesters, before trying to go on the street, they should have tried to go through at least like other means, such as negotiation or petition, and see if the government would even answer to those things before they decide to go on protest.
Let me take it from the last part.
Mm-hmm.
That petition and other means thing,
negotiation,
it doesn't work. You know, let's be factual. It's when they are feeling the heat this much that they started talking like that.
It was so emotional.
If people were, you know, he's an eloquent person and he's talking on behalf of his principal and all that. We can give him that. But the point is, that last part, he knows in his heart of hearts
it wouldn't work.
That it won't work. What if somebody had come up with this kind of petition that they are talking about? They would have been treated slightly. You know, that's the truth. But now, they might attend to something now like that. So let's not deceive one another. The other part, however, that I want to talk about is, you know, this administration has really been, you know, it hasn't been forthcoming. It's been a failure in the part of communication. You know, it's been so weak. And I said it, that time that they put Mr. Dele Alake in mines, and while the rest of us who knew him were looking forward to information and strategy, we suddenly found him in mines, and I was saying, this thing that these people are doing, I said, okay, maybe, because mines is also very critical, and maybe the president wants someone to have his back there and so on. So I just tried to rationalize it, but I knew something was odd. And, that Ministry of Information has been just flat, quiet, has not been joining issues. Look, when Alhaji Lai Mohammed was there, you didn't like him. You like him.
He's always
whatever
coming out
it
to
is,
talk.
he's engaging on daily basis, bit by bit, blow by blow. And a lot of people called him all manner of names. That's part of it now. That's part of it. Communications, you have to even be creating your own news. You have to be showing what your principal is doing. You have to be constantly explaining. I mean, his mental energy projected right through, his age and feeble, appearance and everything. The mental energy and his knowledge of what he was doing was there. Yeah, I don't know if many people even know the name of Minister of Information in this administration. I don't know. It's not been engaging.
How about other people talking?
It's not been
Mr.
engaging.
President?
And you see, not to just roast him alone, ministry by ministry, ministry by ministry, you don't see the sparks coming from people who are supposed to be explaining this thing. And majorly is because, we saw a few things. I saw, and I would always tell you.
What about what Onanuga is doing to Peter Obi on what they are doing to each other?
Who?
Mr. Bayo Onanuga.
No, that's political brickbat. I'm talking about communicating with Nigerians. They haven't been doing a lot of that. But maybe you give it to the Dave Umais of this world, yes. You should give it to Wike, and what he's doing. Their jobs speaking for them. This internal affairs, Interior Ministry, and maybe FIRS and CBN. Outside of those, you find it difficult to see communication flowing.
Hearing from others,
especially when it is positive. And you shouldn't only be doing positive alone. You should also be engaging the negative ones and explaining things
and not
constantly.
Just ignore. Maybe this is part of what is fueling the anger.
I think a lot of stuff have just been left to regular media channels and so on, which they are not even doing enough in that regard. The other problem is they have decided to restrict themselves to certain media channels. And this is a nation of 200 million people. How many people in the grassroots are watching TVC and Arise? These things are elitist. Are you really letting things seep down into all these zones? Do you know that the president just signed Southeast Development Commission? Who heard about it? Nobody had anything.
Which is supposed to be positive to the years of Nigerians.
Nobody, they just passed it, and then everything got buried in the. So this administration has a problem of communication, and I think he should get it right.
All right, talking about the fact that he's not a magician, President Tinubu is not a magician.
Nobody is a magician, and people did not vote for a magician. I don't think that's an excuse.
They said the time, like
I agree.
Is too short.
I absolutely agree that the time is too short for this thing. But people who are mischievous, they are not dealing with time. The moment he ended up in that presidency, the following day, they started their thing. The following day, they started. And I think the idea is not to really even represent. Look at the list. Where did you see anything about food? That long list. Which one specifically addressed food for poor people? None. So now, which I said is just trash. It's not even what the paper is written on. The point here is people are saying, oh, they want to thwart the administration and remove president.
There is one. Reinstate a corruption-free subsidy regime to reduce hunger, starvation, and multidimensional
poverty. What has that got
poverty.
to do about food?
That's to do with hunger.
It's okay if you want to help them.
No, I just decided to go through the list again to see if there is hunger.
I'm telling you that, I even saw the list before you, and I went through it, and there's nothing directly relating to food. That's what I'm saying.
Production of food.
So a lot of things would matter. You can draw things to relate to food indirectly. But I'm saying addressing what you said was the purpose.
Hunger.
Everybody is latching on to hunger as the purpose of wanting to come out and protest, which is a good enough reason. But when it came to now listing what should be number one on the list, it's number nothing. So, and you are seeing this not because people want to, security agencies are putting it, that people want to, scorch the earth and remove president and so on. No, the people who are doing opposition by masking up, I don't believe that they want to remove president, because they know if they remove president by that means, they will also not get there. So what they really want to do is to ensure people are already looking at the next election, and they want to ensure that this period is vicious campaigns. That's what you're looking at. And so by the time we get to that point, it will be untenable for this president to say he wants a second term.
All right. The Minister of Interior says that we should judge by the indices of this government, which are the removal of subsidy, the unified exchange rate, and also local government autonomy. Do you think these three are enough to say, oh, Mr. President, we'll give you more time? You've done enough.
I think he should be addressing two cardinal points.
Okay, which are?
I think he should be talking largely about the difficulty people are going through. He's concentrating too much on people who are saying, we are finding a lot of faults in you.
Okay.
And you should do better, by crook or crack. But there is this angle of genuinely hungry Nigerians in millions. And then the other level that is faring a little better, but very tough, before we begin to get to those ones who have the means to get by. When you come out, you should address that. That's the key issue. And people are not talking to them. We are most of the time talking to people who are mischievous. And because it hits them directly, the thing is hitting them directly, that's why they are addressing it. Yes, the president might have, I've said it here today, that the president is addressing a lot of fundamentals.
Yes.
Which will not turn out the results immediately. It's going to come. Look, when you are able to secure this financial autonomy for local governments, what do you suppose is going to happen? It means some kind of redistribution of funds, which is to 774 points in this country.
Yeah.
But that is not going to manifest immediately. So I understand all that. Saying it's not a magician, I don't believe he should even be using the kind of phrases like that, because people are angry, genuinely. People are angry, and nobody has been communicating with them before seriously. And so when you now come at this crux, what we are supposed to do is to first and foremost be, addressing the hunger, because it's real. Then you can now begin to talk about the other, stuff of what you are doing, how long it's going to take, and so he didn't even say how long it would take. Because I agree with the fact that it's way not going to happen after 1 year, because these people have been there since 1999, including the current president. They have been doing their stuff on the political turf since 1999, and nobody took on the forex cabal, nobody took on the oil and gas cabal, nobody removed subsidy. Is also at fault. Sure, you understand? So let's understand these things and put them in perspective. The president is also at fault that he fought against fuel subsidy removal until he got there, and he now says it's okay now to remove it. And you cannot, assume those two positions and still be able to explain it to people, right? So this thing, you have a lot of truth scattered all over the place. You have a lot of lies scattered all over the place. So it takes a lot of intelligence and knowledge to be able to find your way to the truth and identify the lies that are mixed up.
All right.
Like oil and water.
Quickly, before we open the phone lines, we have US, UK, and Canada issuing a security alert to their citizens in Nigeria just because of this hardship.
That's
protest.
a practice that is normal.
Just normal.
Is that what they do? They take precautions. They are not like us. So they would alert their people, and they have different layers of alerts. It might be grade A, B, C, D, and so on, depending on before it now gets to that point that they start moving their people. So this one is regular. I'm just telling people, okay, there will be protests, and they communicate with their people. You have to play safe. Don't go to certain areas. You could stay home on days like this. Then that's how they communicate with their people.
All right, then. Let us open the phone lines for people to join in the conversation right now. And the phone lines to call in case you do not know. 0704 1001 887 0704 1001 887 or +234 704 7008873. But you know that before we start our conversation in the studio, there are rules. Please let us listen to this.
Thank you for your attention. It's been lovely to have you keeping it locked on Agidigbo 88.7 FM. Now is the time to join in the conversation, to have the word, hear your voice, because we are the people's voice. Meanwhile, while you contribute to this program, kindly note that in accordance with broadcasting ethics, you are requested to keep your contributions modest, truthful, concise, and not offensive, inflammatory, or with tendencies to cause discomfort to anyone. Thank you. Now, let the conversation begin.
All right, 0704 1001 887 or +234 704 7008873. Those are the phone lines to call to join in the conversation this morning. All right, we have this saying from Sonia Abacha saying that if an insurgency surpasses 24 hours, the government has a hand in it. Why do I want to talk about this? Let's pick this call first. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Madam Wuraola.
Good morning, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
Well done. This is Saseyi from Ibadan.
Thank you, sir.
You see, Yoruba will say, "Ikule ni oro lola." Mi ò fẹ́. You people are waiting for the president to do something that will materialize in time they don't know. How do you expect them to be waiting? If you hear what Wike said, first, that people who want to protest are armed robbers. These are leaders in this government. If you hear what the daughter of the president said, you will be amazed. So these are the reasons why people will continue to be hungry.
Do well to call back if you can. I think that was a network issue. We have a video. The video is in Hausa language. I would have said we should just play it. A bandit kingpin called Kachala Bello Turji has insisted that the current Minister of State for Defense, Bello Matawale, is backing terrorism in the northwest. In his latest video, Turji said Matawale has been involved in supporting terrorism in northwest region of Nigeria. And this he had said this before, and there was a denier from Matawale's camp saying that he has nothing to do with it. But he did another video insisting that he knows what he is saying. He's not going to back down from that.
You see, the truth is, anybody can say anything. You understand? People can say anything. It's the duty, the job of security agencies to investigate and come out with who's telling us the truth. It's not. I can wake up and say even anybody is doing something. It might be true. Then again, it might be absolutely false. So, but when the security agencies do what they should do with the backing of government, because the higher you go in this country, the more difficult it is to take you to account for your deeds. So, government has to be seriously involved in backing the security agencies, relevant ones, into finding out, because these people are not operating alone. They have to, like the minister said once, that powerful people in this country are behind all this violence going on, because they are doing it in favor of mining illegally. They are doing it for different reasons. But I cannot, on the basis of Torji's statements, begin to indict Matawale. It's not possible.
I think this should be investigated.
Something strong has to be on the table that we can work with.
Okay then. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, my sister and my brother.
Your name and where you're calling from, sir?
Nice meeting you. I'm Alaji Tunde from Akobo.
All right, sir. Your contribution.
See, I think Torji has been a notorious bandit. You recall that he was given chieftaincy title by one of the village heads in Benin. And you see, these people have been whining and dining with Matawale. He spent billions on them. So he knows them quite well. If you recall, during his tenure, he brought them to the government house and he gave them amnesty for some time before they now went back to the bush. So we cannot say Torji is telling lie. You see, government knows these people. So highly placed people know these people. Why should they allow Nigerians to continue to be killed? That is what is important. Let them investigate.
Okay.
Once they are giving him as a ministerial appointment, then he's covered.
All right.
So that is the problem now. And on protest, please, let it be peaceful. Nigeria must protest.
All right.
That God bless you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay,
for your
let me make, eventually he said investigate.
They should investigate.
But
yes.
the greater point is this. The period he was talking about was a period that it was fashionable for certain governors in the north, to engage,
Bandits.
the representatives of. I recall that it wasn't just Matawale who courted them. They were, the former Speaker House of Representatives, who was also governor of Katsina State at that time, also courted them, and they all regretted it. So we are not saying government, they are not known to government. As a matter of fact, Malam Nasir El-Rufai said, look, we know these people. When he was governor of Kaduna State, he said, we know these people. We even listen through devices on their meetings and so on. Why can't we carpet bomb? So we are not saying that the governors, don't know them. That's not what we are saying.
Okay.
We are saying a direct accusation of sponsoring has come out, and I think
it should be investigated.
It should be investigated before we just.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, my name is Wale from Orike Road.
All right, sir. Your contribution.
Yeah, to me, I'm passionate about the protests. In as much as we know that protest is our rights, but I'm confused this morning. Who actually the list I had? If that the list is what they're protecting for. I don't think these people are really protecting for hungry people. And like these people, it's like they have talent. They have their own, they have their own agenda. Because if the ugly people of the city go to write the list for protest, for what they need, they're talking about food. Why is 5,000 per Congo? This you cannot buy. Current you cannot buy. They are not talking about anything food on that list. And you say people are hungry. You are talking about what people know. These people are not smart. I think that the Arabic don't use are not hungry people at all. So they are buying t-shirts of 6,000 because they are hungry. In fact, these people they are thinking about bringing down Nigeria. If this protest is accepted, it's going to affect everybody.
All right.
And if you go and protest now, affecting everybody. You know that for them to fix everything they have destroyed, it takes some time. And young people go to the mosque, people will be dying of street like how.
Okay.
And some of them that are fighting, they are not in Nigeria, their children are not in Nigeria. If they start killing now, everything goes destroy now. It means that we'll be in trouble, our children will be in trouble.
All right.
So they cannot protect protest. They themselves, they got to have the ability.
Okay. Thank you so much for your contribution, sir. 0704 1001 887. Always remember that you have a minute, a flat, when you put your call through. Please let us maintain that so that we can accommodate other callers. 0704-1001-887. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
Gladi Ahmed from Agbo.
All right, sir.
What most of our people doesn't understand is that the situation in the country now is very tense. There is no any protest that will come now is not going to be bloody. So that is why the government is pretending. If it is a peaceful protest, there is nobody, even when the government will say, no, people should not protest, they should not do this and that. And that is why they wanted to see the people who wanted to protest, let them have their records so that they can hold them if there's anything that there's problem. But in our own protest in this country, it doesn't go well. So that is why they don't want any bloodshed. That is it. That is what the people should have in mind.
All right.
They don't say people should not protest. The situation is very bad, but we will not take it the way it is. So that is it. So the people who are hungry, they are plenty more than the people who are enjoying. So they will overwhelm them. So that is why it is. So the government should know and make the needful. Because if not so, katakata will start.
Thank you so much for your contributions. 0704-1001-887 or +234-704-700-8873. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Samson Akintayo.
Calling from where?
I'm calling from Agoro.
All right, sir. Your contribution.
Good morning, Maestro, sir.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. On the statement credited to Yaloja, Tinubu's daughter, and even David Umahi, I want to say sometimes it is better to remain silent and let people call you a fool than to spill and remove all elements of doubt. Thank you and good morning.
All right. Thank you so much.
You know, sincerely, I listened to FCT Minister for a long time. He was actually addressing a crowd. I have not heard the Yaloja General's...
I haven't heard that too.
I have not heard her own version at all. I think some people have listened to it and they are displeased, about certain remarks, but I've not heard. I've not heard.
So sure do that and talk about it tomorrow. Let's go pay some bills now. When we're back, we'll take more calls and also talk about Kenneth Okonkwo saying that talking about the Labour Party candidates for the last election, Mr. Peter Obi. We'll be back.
Akidibo 88.7 FM.
Láti dènà àrùn ìgbẹ́ gbuuru àti àrùn mìíràn pàápàá nínú àwọn ọmọdé, fọ ọwọ́ rẹ pẹ̀lú ọṣẹ àtomi tó ń dà ṣooro. Ní pàtàkì jùlọ tó o bá lo ilé ìgbọ̀nsẹ̀ tán lẹ́yìn tó bá ti ṣàǹdí fọ́mọ tán kó o tó ṣoúnjẹ ọmọ rẹ tàbí kó o tó fún un lóúnjẹ. Àti pé tí ọmọ rẹ bá ní àìsàn ìgbẹ́ gbuuru, fún un ní oògùn oníwóró zinc lẹ́ẹ̀kan lójúmọ́ àti ORS ní wákàtí mẹ́rin tàbí kí ẹ máa fún díẹ̀díẹ̀ nínú ife. Èyí á jẹ́ kọ́mọ rẹ lè ní ìdápadà omi ara àtokun. Bákan náà, yọjú sílé iṣẹ́ ètò ìlera tó bá súnmọ́ ọ jùlọ láti gba ìtọ́jú fọ́mọ tó ní àìsàn ìgbẹ́ gbuuru. Ìkéde yìí wá láti àkànṣeṣẹ́ ARIN, iléeṣẹ́ tó ń mójútó ètò ìlera ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́.
Big mommy, add that bokoto we go senior school. Put 2 roundabout. Anoint the package with that slim thick shaki and
Uncle, no vex o. Which teeth you wan use eat all this orishi? That your teeth will be like where motor jam truck. E no dey worry you again.
That one na before. All thanks to the new Close-Up Complete Fresh Protection.
That's right. The new Close-Up Complete Fresh Protection toothpaste gives you complete oral protection with fluoride and antibacterial zinc to keep your teeth strong, prevent tooth holes, and fight bacteria.
Please have to go buy my own new Close-Up Complete Fresh Protection toothpaste.
Close-Up Complete Fresh Protection for your important oral care needs. Available in a blue gel.
I'm in love. Sonia tomato mix, stand up. Is it to open? Is it to squeeze? Is it to scoop and is it to stir? Dishes come alive with so much taste. Sonia tomato mix, of course. Sonia tomato mix, yes sir. Sonia tomato mix, stand up pouch.
Sonia tomato mix in a new stand-up pouch.
So much enough.
yá gbà ọmọ mi ọ̀wọ́n.
Màámi, ẹ fi mílìkì sí ni.
Kò di dandan ìwọ tó wò ná.
Báwo lẹ ṣe ṣe?
Ǹjẹ́ mílìkì inú ẹ̀ péye?
Ní gidi gan.
Ṣé ọ̀rá wàrà inú ẹ̀ ṣàn tó?
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Milo 3-in-1 milky and creamy nìyẹn o. Mílìkì inú ẹ̀ péye, mi ò nílò láti ṣàfikún mílìkì sí i.
Mo nífẹ̀ẹ́ rẹ̀ màámi.
Fún àwọn ọmọ rẹ ní Milo 3-in-1 milky àti creamy tuntun, mílìkì inú ẹ̀ péye, ó kún fún káṣíọ̀mù láti ran àwọn ọmọ rẹ lọ́wọ́ láti yege lójoojúmọ́. Milo, agbára láti tẹ̀síwájú.
Milo. Ìmọ́tótó ló lè ṣẹ́gun àrùn gbogbo.
Láti dènà àrùn ìgbẹ́ gbuuru àti àrùn mìíràn pàápàá nínú àwọn ọmọdé, fọ ọwọ́ rẹ pẹ̀lú ọṣẹ àtomi tó ń dà ṣooro. Ní pàtàkì jùlọ tó o bá lo ilé ìgbọ̀nsẹ̀ tán lẹ́yìn tó bá ti ṣàǹdí fọ́mọ tán kó o tó ṣoúnjẹ ọmọ rẹ tàbí kó o tó fún un lóúnjẹ. Àti pé o tí ọmọ rẹ bá ní àìsàn ìgbẹ́ gbuuru fún un ní oògùn oníwóró zinc lẹ́ẹ̀kan lójúmọ́ àti ORS ní wákàtí mẹ́rin tàbí kí ẹ máa fún un díẹ̀díẹ̀ nínú ife. Èyí á jẹ́ kọ́mọ rẹ lè ní ìdápadà omi ara àtokun. Bákan náà yọjú sílé iṣẹ́ ètò ìlera tó bá súnmọ́ ọ jùlọ láti gba ìtọ́jú fọ́mọ tó ní àìsàn ìgbẹ́ gbuuru.
Ìkéde yìí wá láti àkànṣeṣẹ́ ARIN, iléeṣẹ́ tó ń mójútó ètò ìlera ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́.
Federal Cooperative College Ẹlẹ́yẹlé Ìbàdàn, a renowned cooperative college with towering pedigree and outstanding graduates over the years. Students with 5 credits in WAEC or NECO examinations and SAT for the last UTME are eligible for admission to pursue national diploma or higher national diploma certificates in courses like cooperative economics and management, banking and finance, marketing, business administration and management, accountancy, computer science, home and rural economics, and so on and so forth. There is also professional diploma in cooperative study for HND and BSc holders. Tuition fees are quite affordable with adequate security for students. Hurry up and obtain admission form into Federal Cooperative College as admission is in progress either for full-time or part-time. For further details, please call 0803-831-9232 or 0703-885-3401. Website www.fccibadan.edu.ng. Federal Cooperative College, Eleyele, Ibadan. Cooperative for progress.
Fellow Nigerians, mommies, daddies, and children, please listen. It's no longer news that there's cholera outbreak, but don't worry. Cholera is highly preventable with good hygiene practice in the home. Ensure you disinfect your floors, clothes, and surfaces with Hypo bleach. And always remember to care for your toilets with Hypo toilet cleaner. This way, you protect your family and stop the spread of cholera.
Akidibo 88.7 FM.
Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. All right, 0704 1001 887. Yes, Kenneth Okonkwo has dumped a Labour Party and also his support for Mr. Peter Obi because, according to him, he said that Mr. Peter Obi has refused to solve the lasting, to provide a lasting solution to the party's internal crisis, which he thought he would be able to do. So someone like that, which can even provide a solution to the problem of his party, how much more Nigeria? So he said he's no longer, and Labour Party has come out to say, to describe him as a mole. However, Mr. Peter Obi said no one, because he's still his brother, and they shouldn't call him a mole because of differences in the way they think and something like that.
So I believe that Mr. Okonkwo is in transit, like the average Nigerian politician.
But he said he's not talking about APC or PDP now.
At the
for
moment.
now.
That's why I said he's in transit. He is moving from point A to point B. Because, you see, the Nigerian politician is a bird in flight. And you assume at your own peril that is going to stick by you. Even Mr. Peter Obi himself swore in APGA that if I ever leave APGA, so should happen.
But he did.
But he did effortlessly without even remembering the oath that he swore. And he moved on. So I can't blame Kenneth Okonkwo for saying, okay, for now, I'm out of this place. I've not said I'm going anywhere, but we know he will end up somewhere. And we have to thank Kenneth Okonkwo for the kind of color and drama that he's added to Nigerian politician.
As an Hollywood actor?
Yes, he's a sharp dresser. and he's given that talk thing, and he talked very well. And I always like that spice in political settings, because you see our politics is so sad and disheartening. It's deflating, because it's not driving us to where we should be. Therefore, occasionally when you see
some
spicy and colorful politicians like him, you take it in your stride.
All right, I'll allow us to take 2 to 3 more calls before we finally go this morning. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, well, good morning. In conclusion, this is Saturday. The phone went off. You see, what I'm trying to conclude is, all the demands in that process, the way I see, there's nothing new there. Even when there is, with the time they do this Occupy Nigeria by Baba Tinubu, it's not because of the masses, guys.
You said by Baba Tinubu, or he was part of it?
He was part of it. He championed most of the things. So, it's not that they are hungry too, but they are after maybe they want the government to change, and so that their party to win also. So that is what politicians do. So what is happening? It's not new.
All right.
So thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for your contribution. 0704 1001 887 or +234 704 708 873. Our final call for the day. We're still expecting that. Maestro, your pattern shots and few seconds.
Well, I will just urge parents to ensure that underage children will not step out for protests.
Underage?
Yes, let it be from
18 and above.
Yes.
Adults who can make decisions for themselves. Hello, good morning. Okay, all right. By that, we'll say it's a wrap for this morning. Tomorrow, Tuesday, we'll be back to talk about our great nation, Nigeria, and hopefully we'll have a fresh breath and try and talk about something else aside, dwell on something else aside the protest.
I don't think so.
We'll still be here.
Still be there for a while.
All right, tomorrow we'll meet again. My name is Wuraola Yusuff. Enjoy the week.